Hey everyone. You know, for someone that works in retail, which a lot of you probably know by now that I do, there's one thing that I understand clearly above anything else, along with my fellow workers and associates, and that is the customer always comes first. However, there's a catch to that sometimes, or there's a karma that comes with that. And that is even though we know that's a fact and that is the basis, if not the foundation of our jobs, there is one thing that kind of frustrates us. And that is the fact that customers don't understand when something is done and something is still going. In other words, when it comes to a position like, let's say, a cashier, depending on the store that you work at, whether it's where I work, or it's a Trader Joe's, or it's a Target, or a Kohl's, wherever. Normally, at times, if not most times, the cashiers will have what's known as lights above the registers. The numbers of the registers will be lit up to indicate that, hey, that register is open, that register is ready to go. However, there are various times, though, that customers don't seem to understand that. Now, a lot of us could chalk that up to a customer being used to basically going to a store, whether it's a small, local store in town, grocery mart, if you will, and getting into a lane and not having to worry about whether or not a light is on or off. The reason I bring that up is because when you look at this picture, as best as you could see, the light on said register is off. But the other one, the other picture upcoming, shows that the light is on. Now, these were the best I could get as examples of what I mean. Because you see, when the light is off, that means that that register or that location where that person who might be checking out a customer at is closed. It is off, for the time being until someone else takes over. When it's on, it does mean that basically, that register is ready to go and that whoever's there is ready to serve you. And the reason I bring it up is because it seems that customers don't understand that. Now, I can understand that, like I said, they're used to shopping at local food marts or locations that don't utilize lit up registers or anything like that, so they don't feel that they need to abide by it. Or I understand, and I say this with all due respect, that sometimes it's a cultural and language barrier. From a cultural standpoint, they're used to doing things a certain way. From a language barrier, you need someone to help you maybe speak the language to kind of get it across of, oh, hey, this guy or gal is closed. The register is closed. They're ready to go home, or they're ready to go to break, or they're going to lunch. I can understand that. I can also understand that sometimes people are just used to the way, are just used to their own way. What I'm trying to say is just used to their own way of doing things. However, there's one thing that we as employees and associates at any retail store, company, wherever, are taught. The number one thing we're taught is not only do the customers come first, but to have respect and toleration for the customer. Mostly respect. And in turn, what we ask, and most places do teach this, is that the customer shows respect in return. And in my opinion, what a customer should do to show that kind of respect is have an understanding of, oh, that light's off on that register. That means that register is not operational right now. That person's leaving. Because if they see the light is on, but then all of a sudden they get ready to go over to that lane, then click, that light goes off. It should be an indication of, oh, that light, that register is done. That register is off now, or that register is closed. And that person operating it is either going home, going to lunch, or, going on break. Again, the point is, just cut the book there. point is, basically what I'm getting at is we get that customers are culturally used to doing things a certain way. We understand that sometimes it's a language barrier, and I say that with all due respect. That sometimes we need to speak the language or have someone help us translate what we're saying or trying to put across to the customer. But also, like I said, we understand that it's also the fact that the customer is just used to doing things a certain way. Like if they're used to going to a local food mart in town and not having to worry about lights at a register being on, and they're just used to seeing people being in line and saying, oh, that line's open, let's go to it. Let's go to it because I see people standing, being served or being waited on or being cashed out. So we can understand all those aspects. We can also understand that sometimes when it comes to a rush, whether it's in the midday, the morning, or the evening, that sometimes when you're asked to turn on a register, let's say before you go to break or you go to lunch, then sometimes you're told leave your light off but take a few customers. That would basically cause confusion, because then by doing so, you're basically telling the individual or telling the other customers that also waiting in line or in various long lines, that hey, I'm open, come on down, get cashed out or get checked out, even though you're told by your boss to primarily just take a few customers that they point out to you, but to leave your light off and to leave your closed lane up or closed lane sign up. And like I said, that's where the confusion comes in, because a manager may have good intentions on having you do that and allowing you just to take a few customers so that you can go home or you can go to break or you can go to lunch. But again, it also causes confusion. And I think that's what primarily is the reason, or that's what I'm trying to say, what is primarily the reason as to why customers think sometimes at a place like where I work, or Target, or Kohl's, or Trader Joe's, or wherever, that just because someone's there serving you, or checking out other customers, cashing out other customers, that basically, relates to them, oh, that person's open. When in fact, all you're doing is just doing what you were asked by the manager so that you can go home and not do overtime. Or you could go to your lunch and not go over your 5th or 6th hour, or miss your break so you can get to your break on time so they can get you back. It does cause confusion, and I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that whatsoever. But again, the point I'm trying to get across is that all that aside, and not all that aside, but all that combined, and all that aside as well, all we wish of customers, doesn't matter where they shop, whether it's the company I work for, the Targets, the Kohl's, the Trader Joe's, the Barnes and Nobles, wherever, the malls, all we ask as associates, employees, cashiers, whatever, is that all we ask is for the customer to understand when a light is on, that means the register is operational and the person running it is ready to serve you. But when the light is off, that basically means that it's not operational and that register is closed, and that's because that cashier is ready to go to lunch, go home, or go to break. That's all we ask. And again, like I said, I understand sometimes when someone is asked to take a few customers at a checkout lane and they're told leave your light off, just so you could get these customers out of the way, you could reduce the lanes down, I should say. That does cause confusion, but hopefully down the line, customers of all kinds can understand, or kind of come together and understand, oh, that light's off, that person's going to break, or oh, that light's off, that person's going home, or that person's going to lunch. And then when they see the light on, that's when they get the indication of, oh, that person is at the register, they're ready to serve us, they're ready to get us out of that store, check us out, kind of deal. So hopefully they can understand that. And don't get me wrong, customers do understand. There are a lot of customers that do get it. They do understand the difference. But there are others, though, that don't. And sometimes, like I say, out of respect and everything, it could be a cultural barrier, it could be a language barrier, and it could be the barrier of the fact that they're just used to checking out a certain way, and there's nothing else you can do about that. Or there's nothing you can really do about that because that's how they're used to doing things. So, anyway, though, I thought I'd just finally get that off my chest. Now, listen, I don't mean any disrespect. I just wanted to get this off my chest because, again, where I work, I know is not the only place where this happens, but hopefully people understand that it needs to stop and they need to let people check out. So, till then, guys, I gotta go. Let me know what you think down below, and I am out.